Good morning, y'all. I figure I'd do a different vantage point with my videos. Sometimes it's important to hear words versus seeing a person. And the truth of the matter is, your girl ain't quite camera ready. Not like I'd like to be. But welcome to Vlogmas. And as I stated, y'all, there are going to be some days I may not do a video because I'm just been working a lot of hours. So I've been busy the last couple of days. However, I did want to come on and say, hey. And during my work day, like I said, you know, you may not physically have any interaction with people, but you're always touched. You're always communicated with people. We are not islands unto ourselves, are we? And throughout my day, I'll jot little notes down about things that maybe I observed. Mostly it's about me and things I may need to work on. Like I said, you know, I am forever going to be a student in the classroom of life. We all are. It's just about recognizing it. And like I said, you know, a lot of times I come in my living room and I sit right here on the end of the couch and just look out. And I'm actually rethinking. I know I'm going to cut down the trees that are closest to my house, but I do like looking out my window and seeing trees. I really do. I like that look. It almost makes me think I'm somewhere else. So I may not cut down all of them, just the ones that are in immediate threat, a potential threat, I should say. But anyway, as I sit and look and think about things, and I think about, for instance, the past couple of days, I've been thinking about, can you handle it? Can you handle it? Can we handle the greatness? Even though, like I said, I look at these trees and I see the strength in these trees, and these trees been here for 25 plus or longer before they start building, and they've withstood and they've been strengthened and they are great looking. And I think about in our life, can we handle being great? And we know that society's measure of greatness is that you got to be on top. That we got to be on top because that's how people measure us. And if you're not up here where these people are, you're considered a failure, or you're considered that you're not striving enough, or you're not working hard enough, or you're not. There's always the crowd of people that say not enough. But I'm here to encourage you, and I had to look at that thing. And that's the importance of getting into your word. God reminded me I am a God that's more than enough. And Tonya, sometimes we have to look at what more than enough means. My more than enough that I provide and supply you every day may not and will not look like other people's more than enough, because I had to think about that thing. I had to think about, you know, God, I thank you that you've blessed me and you've made me great and you've allowed me to be able to handle what you have provided for me right where I am. Oh, sure, we have our own personal goals and professional goals and just goals. Oh, absolutely. But if you're looking at other people's greatness, and there's nothing wrong with trying to achieve, absolutely. Always have a goal in mind. Always have of, let me do it better the next day. And again, your better and your more than enough, it's going to look different than somebody else's, because they may have the opportunity and space to do those things where it is measured to look greater than yours. Because that female or that husband and wife, they may not have any children that they have to tend after. So their lifestyle is conducive to allow them to flow and reach out more than you. Your focus and your obligations may be more than someone else's. So it seems as though they are much more farther ahead than you. So that's the importance of why we have to focus on our own lives. We have to focus on what God is doing for us. And if God is a man that he will not lie, and he says, I am a God of more than enough. You may look in your bank account and it may not be where you personally want it to be. But when you look at the grand scheme of things and you say, God, I thank you, because I may not have silver and gold and all of these things, but what I do have, God, I thank you. And it has been more than enough. And then for those of us who are still striving to get there, think about, is it something that I can handle right now? If I received an abundance of something, could I handle it? So instead of us complaining, instead of us, I wish upon a star to follow where you are. Instead of doing that, and again, yes, there's nothing wrong with dreaming. But I think in our lives, we have to remember, we serve a God that's more than enough. So we don't have to do all that wishing and, oh, I wish I was like so-and-so and this and that and the other. Because what happens is we find ourselves not being grateful for where we are. And we don't speak those things that be not as though they were. There's a difference. So sometimes we have to speak, God, I thank you that you're more than enough in my life. So I don't get into that Eve mindset mentality. See, Eve thought she was missing out on something. Eve thought that what God provided in the Garden of Eden was not more than enough. She thought, based on what somebody told her, the devil, what you've been provided for, what God has given you, it ain't enough. Oh, he don't want you. Oh, he just don't want you to eat that tree because you'll know like he does, knowing good and evil. So again, God will always give us more than enough. He will give us what we can handle. So we have to remember, don't compare your greatness and your more than enough to somebody else's more than enough, because it's never going to look the same, honey. And that's what the Lord had to remind me. Yeah, there are some goals and aspirations, and all that is wonderful, daughter. Absolutely. But the minute you start sitting back trying to achieve somebody else's level of greatness, again, they may not have the circumstances you have. They may not have the obligations that you have where they can move freely. And that doesn't mean that God is withholding anything from you. It's called life, and those circumstances may not afford you at this particular time to handle what you're trying to pursue. So you have to just say, God, I thank you that you're more than enough. That you are more than enough. You shall supply all of my needs according to your riches and glory. And your riches and glory and your more than enough may not look like Sally Sue's or Tom's. They may be able to get a specific toy, if you will, every week. Whereas you may have to wait every 6 months or only once a year you can do something. But again, we still go back to God and say, God, I thank you that I'm not sitting back with the Eve mentality. That I feel like I need something that you have not even shown me or even given me the command to walk in that. See, a lot of times we don't even inquire with God about the things that we should indulge in. And I know there are things that, yeah, look, if your washing machine dryer tear up, yeah, and you got the means to get it, go get your washer and dryer. And along the way, oh, God, I thank you. But every little thing in your life God's concerned about. And we can't think that, oh, man, I can't believe I'm going to God asking him, should I buy this or that? Yeah. See, that's the adversary talking to you, telling you that you can't cast certain cares on God. You are allowed. You have access. Y'all follow what I'm saying? We all have access to talk to God about anything. Do you think he's going to be shocked? Do you think he don't know? Oh, he knows. But it's through your communication, it's through your talking with him that you get revelation knowledge of what you should do. It's just like my boss. I love my boss. We get to talking and sharing. And sometimes just through sharing and talking, you have already solved your own problem. Because you're in communion with that person. And same way with God. When you develop and begin to talk to him, and you looking for a big voice to come out your speakers and tell you, okay, Tonya, la 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 la, do X, Y, and Z, go walk. No. Once you begin to communicate and really God drops things in your spirit, man or woman, to give you the direction. But if you don't ever commune or communicate with him, how are you going to hear? Let those who have ears, let them hear. So, again, I close with this, y'all. Be encouraged that we serve a God that is more than enough. And what goes on with your life, in your household, give God thanks that, God, I thank you. Yes, I have dreams, aspirations, all that. Oh, yes. But God, I thank you that you're more than enough. And whatever you have allowed me to have, to pursue, to obtain, God, it was more than enough. It was more than what I needed at the time that I needed it. And at the stage I'm at now, God, I thank you that I can handle it now. Oh, yeah, it would have looked good to everybody. Oh, it would have been good for everybody to pat you on the back when you were 20, 25 years old to have that and achieve that level of greatness. Oh, absolutely. But God, I thank you and I trust you with my life that you gave whatever I needed to have in my life at the time I knew I could handle it. And for things that I jumped into there prematurely about, thank you, God, that you allowed me to perhaps lose some things. But because you're a God of more than enough, I have recovered all and then some. Because what? God, I thank you. You allowed me to be able to handle it right here and right now. Amen. All right, y'all. This was Coffee with Lady T. And again, happy Vlogmas. God bless you. And may the peace of the Lord be with you.